Welcome, guys. Sunday. It's not really that bloody anymore, unfortunately. I kind of like that. But we're starting to see some strength into the market. Not really on the large caps, but I mean, Bitcoin and the rest of the shenanigans, but more likely on alts. So I've been covering them for like a week already, and we took some big moves on some of them, and they're still coming. So let's prepare and have a look what we're gonna expect from the next movement of the new week. We will see some retracement so far, just because like looking at the VIX as well, we did reach the 21-ish area. We didn't regain that. That still doesn't say anything that we might not go higher. Still, we're not gonna break below 16. Why 16 and not 17.6? Because that low didn't bring you as high as it needed to go to regain that. So for me, the whole break of this whole movement and all of this volatility will be below and only below 16.2. So that's my aim. We still could potentially retrace a little bit lower, right? So we could see some relief bounce and then do one more maybe, and that's going to be the bigger failure potentially, or that one will bring you lower. That's still the case. So far, it's an uptrend. We are right in the middle of this whole movement. If we're gonna get below the 17, we potentially could find us around 16. Breaking that level, that's going to be quite major for the market and potentially some volatility for it or relief bounce or however you want to see that's volatility coming in. Dixie wise, we are still grinding higher up. We didn't regain the high yet, but we are still at the resistance. That potentially could change to aim a little bit more higher or even changing this whole structure, right? We are not really aiming to go lower. There is no even sign of a retrace yet. We are still at the resistance, right? We know when that happens, every single time we've been there, we stood there for a long time. So let's see how we're going to be dealing with that for now. Potentially, dollar could go a little bit more higher up for the resistance. Not really aiming nothing above the 100 yet, just because we drop of the low on it. So right now, the next bigger pocket of resistance is at 99.9. That's the one that you want to short it and to retrace fully and see if we're going to hold the low or we're going to break it again. Moving on the market total. Like I've been mentioning, we see some movement coming in. We start to break low time frame structure. It's nothing significant on the higher time frame yet, till we're not gonna get back about 750. We're still ranging, till we're not gonna break the low or the high of that one. This is still uptrend range, right? That's quite obvious. We could see that, right? We could potentially do something like this, or even going back lower. Line in the sand. That one can go away right now. So right now you need to stick above 692 for any kind of potential to get back at the underside retest of this hip. That will keep us for a while busy. I'm guessing that kind of hip with this kind of range set and resistance on it, it's not easy to be regained. So yeah, still uptrending into the resistance, but we cannot lose the low on it, right? Losing the low, we're gonna go back at the 67 670-ish area, and we could potentially slide lower, right? Because we didn't change anything major yet on it. Kind of ish, I'm looking for this kind of structure if we're gonna get it, but I don't see it coming it right now. Not yet, at least. Of course, going over the gold, still uptrending, like we have been saying. It's a bit iffy and weird sideways move for it, but it's been quite nice holding from the drop off that we had at the second time. We broke the low and now we regained that previous high. So technically this is still uptrending till we're not gonna get above this all shenanigans. Is this resistance? Yes, it is. Quite heavy as well. So we could potentially stay quite for a while over here till we're not gonna break out from it. Same thing what we did over here, right? That stuff over here. Right into that, stay above it, come back once, but not even fully retrace and then send it again. That's happened. It's still continuation on gold. And technically, it is still continuation till we're not going to get below the 4.3, right? That's the major one. Silver, a little bit more It's need to have a little bit more work to be dealing with right now. We had the resistance quite heavily right now, so we could even pop it and go a little bit more higher up. But to get back at 114 with that fair value gap, it could be possible if we're gonna stay above the previous structure, right? So if we turn the structure into the right now the resistance into the support, do the RSI flip, we could potentially do something like that, or it's gonna blast through it like it freaking wants to whatsoever. So far, you don't want to lose the 73. This whole support over here that we've been holding, you don't want to lose that. That's on the commodities. Not much on the CME gap. It's not going to be even something to consider to look at it. But funny enough, and quite nicely that you can see dominance start to peak as well. So let's see if we're going to regain the 59 and get above or close into the resistance of this whole failure what we had. That said, Bitcoin will go sideways a little bit more, even deeper for the retracement. And if this starts to get a little bit more into the lows, we could potentially see some more movement on the market. So far, dominance start to peak, so we aiming for to get close to 59. But yeah, we're still holding on this whole wipe of and close below. Weirdly enough, we did, but we did regain that low technically with setting this high over here. So yeah, that pullback was in the books, and right now we are playing it out and aiming to get a little bit more into this resistance. Let's see how we're gonna be dealing from the next week, right? But gaining that, you're gonna get back at 59. So we are still, and whole thing gonna be mentioned quite for a while. This is still a range, right? Quite obvious. So moving on the market bundle, we kind of aiming to get back at this whole core trend for daily liquidity area. Potentially we could, but so far we are kind of going sideways, and I think we're gonna do this for a while to squeeze quite a lot of it to make this a little bit more closer, up it, and then do something like this or maybe like that. I don't know. It's not something that we predict. It's just what we are seeing in the charts right now. So we are definitely squeezing into the market. So yeah, this is kind of sideways. We didn't regain the previous high. We didn't even regain 68.9 that I've been mentioning. We didn't come close to it. So it's a weakness that we're seeing in the market. Failing first low that we're gonna get, we could dip a little bit more lower. Same thing on the capital flow index. We've been mentioning that for a while. We've been split quite heavily for I think already 2 months almost. So yeah, something to consider as well. Alts were quite strong. We are pulling back, so getting close to neutral line still good. Even if you're gonna dip lower, that's set potentially for a nice bounce as well for us. And then large caps can go a little bit more as well, if and only if we're gonna retrace on the stablecoin. So far, the money is and circulate through the alts and stables, right? We are out in negative. We are getting a little bit more higher up on the capital flow of on the cash flow, but it's still quite heavily negative, right? So, and slowly by doing this whole grind to the sideways, the oscillators starting to peak as well. So potentially in the moves that we are doing, we are starting to get more and more pressure on the oscillator. And if we start to get overheated on the oscillator doing the sideways, it builds up for a bigger move to the downside, right? That's quite clear, I guess. Now moving on the capital flow index, overall still down, still continuing lower. And this is as well something to see back into the Dixie and VIX start to peak as well. Next, I start to dip and start to get below the neutral line. So potential some bigger movements are happening. SPX is holding, and of course, gold and silver are still high up, right? So not much change for a really while already. So November, I guess, and we dipped even lower than the November. So yeah, something to consider. And note as well, the next week is the last week of February. It's a short month, of course, It's the last week. So monthly close for February, like from the open that we settled over here. And I've been saying that for, been quite vocal about it, that the February could hold us down for a while as well. And it did, right? So far, we are below that. We're gonna open in March, quite lower or maybe somewhere in here. Let's see. I don't see it retrace fully in the next couple, even 6 days, because the monthly close will be on 28th. That's Saturday, and after that you have the weekly open. So again, similar with the February one, you're gonna have another 3 major and big levels at the same moment open with 1 day in between. So make sure and you look at that, and yeah, make sure you're not gonna do some crazy stuff in between those two things. And it's gonna be weekend as well, so right, double up of volatility, or maybe even FOMOing and all that shenanigans. What's happening in the market? What people tend to look for it and get caught off. But yeah, this is it. The monthly close is gonna be quite shitty so far. Like I've been saying, not really seeing something retracing. I'm kind of aiming we're gonna do one more and get somewhere close below that, and then we're gonna do something like with 1 or maybe a couple months retracement and do a full body sweep into the 40, right? That kind of aim, like hovering a little bit more above the bear market, something like this stuff we're gonna deal over here. That could be the case, right? And then it just like quite close to the area that we gonna build up the bear market stuff. So yeah, 40, beginning from 40 to 30. That's the aim that I'm aiming for. I've like, there is no point to go exactly like where is the bottom of the market, because like that's freaking the most bullshit thing that you can even think about it to do. Like even spreading your funds from 50 to 30, that's the great thing to do, right? If you want to DCA into that, then definitely you're gonna catch most of it, as not even a bit more than a half of it, right? And you should be fine and even happy about that, because no one knows what we're going to deal and how we're going to deal with this. But yeah, I'm kind of questioning myself if we're going to have another quite big fundamental bear market shenanigans like FTX it had this cycle as well, if something. Or it's going to be the micro strategy that's going to freaking fail in the bear market. And we're going to create the same way as we had it over here, that one push lower, sideways, and then explosive move. This kind of stuff that happens at that momentum of time. Let's see. It'll be funny to have another one at the same time. But yeah, moving on. This is the monthly, and that's why I'm saying, and guessing as well, weekly, we could even retrace a little bit more lower, filling the wick, and then start to build up a bit more structure on it, I guess. But that's definitely something to look out for. Not much to say right now. And what tempting me to say that is just because we still didn't regain anything significant. Not even those 3 levels been get. Yes, we are holding once on the support, really nice straight line on the support, but that's if we break the first one. So that's one. If we're gonna close anything below that, it's gonna be straight into filling this fair value gap. But yeah, we are still squeezing, right? This is all freaking same shit over and over. 4 hour, same thing as I've as well mentioned that for a while. We need to regain that, or even this is now right now the most important. Why is 68.9 most important level to regain? We even think about to go higher, and we are failing quite significant from it. We didn't even reach out for it nicely, because if you zoom in, and sometimes the sneaky ones are the most painful ones. This is the high that you came from. This is the low that you settled, and this was the first regain of this structure. We closed above it, and then we failed from. So the first close above the structure that you failed from, that's the high that you need to regain. As simple as it gets. Believe me, guys, that it's it's all about you, what you want to do, but all of the noise that even in this Discord went through like a couple days ago in in the chats and in the BTC went really ballistic and crazy for me to read through all of that stuff. But the simple rule is you need to regain that. If you don't even come close to that line, you're still gonna aim to go lower. Simple as that. That's the make or break line. I cannot make it differently for you. I'm sorry, but this is it. But yeah, still remember one thing: coming close and back at 66.3. That's not gonna hold us because it's been tested quite heavily. So there is nothing to hold us over here, and there's nothing to hold us to the left of us. That's why I've been saying, coming back at the lows, breaking something in the first matter, you're gonna find yourself at 64-ish. Right? So this whole hip. That's the only and the last kind of like a momentum that it still could hold us for a bigger move or even coming back at the highs, right? And then on top of that, be nice if it can load. We do have overlapping support, so that's the only positive about that move that we created. So it could potentially be a bounce or even coming close into the band because that one we didn't even touch for a while. So that could be one. And there was some liquidity below us as well. Yeah. But then that pocket over here, the bluish stacked one, that start to get much more appealing as well. So dipping into that and wiping that, and it kind of comes perfectly together with the whole hip over here that we need to hold on. And that's as well the hip that you should, because that's the support, right? Grabbing all of that, still fine. And potentially we could break the low. Why? Because we didn't regain the high. So there is nothing to lose, right? We still could grab that and then do the bigger move, right? So yeah, that's kind of what I'm aiming for Biddy. And I think that's kind of all. I didn't check my plan. Yeah, so this is still the mid of the range that we settled down, and still this is the whole support. On top of that, oh, that's what I want to talk about it. Sorry, I needed to cough. On top of that, that support, right? So all of this, what we have around the 62.8 plus the liquidity on top of that and the support below, that comes quite nice together with the block that I've been mentioning for weeks that start to stack from all this momentum quite low, and they start to add to that one. So this is not even something, as we say, like that fake wall that they start to build up for quite heavily. They hold for ages and they pull it, right? This is nothing to do with that. This is all manual, right? Because you can see how significant they've been holding it. Bit moving around, that's fine, but they've been adding to that one quite heavily. And right now, we are seeing quite big numbers coming into that one. And funny enough, that's below the whole structure. So I never can find the freaking row. So really perfect straight line, I know. So all the structure over here, we go to 4 hour. See, that's all below that. So potentially that could be a really good support to bring us a little bit more higher or even hold us over here for a while, right? So coming back at it, then yeah, that should be a quite nice potentially bounce on Bitcoin. And then yeah, I don't care if we're gonna break the low because we should break the lows because we didn't regain anything to the upside. So in my book, that's still aiming to go lower. And this is as well really, if you look at it, why is this different right now? I don't get it. Okay, now it should be right. So there is potentially much more to the downside magnet, also money wise, if you think about it, than even to the upside. Right? We've been talking about that last week as well. There's not much to grab. Like yes, there is the average liquidity stack over there, but that's only to bring us a little bit lower. But if you're gonna grab the low first and then coming back at the high and then start to reverse everything, that could be potentially the break of structure for the high time frame and change the whole character into your trend, right? So yeah, that's what I'm kind of aiming for Bitcoin, for have that relief bounce momentum. If or not, like we could even freaking blast through it and like freaking dump everything. That's going to be the case, fine. But technically, it builds up like it wants to do one more and then start to build something into the high, but not something significant. Like we've been in that kind of structure for quite a long time. Like something like this as well. Like you didn't regain anything, you dump from it, right? Here as well, right? You settle the highs, lows, highs, but you didn't settle the higher high. You freaking dump from it, right? Like it's over and over the same thing, right? Potentially we could hold on it, but then if you start to wipe things, then yeah, we could potentially even continue all of that, right? There is no point for Bitcoin or even like thinking about it. You are closer to let's say like that. You are closer to bear market than to fucking all-time high, right? To be honest with you, we could had that relief bounce over here. That was it. And now we just are in the continuation to the bear market because all that stuff we could be either way. We had that, or we are gonna have one more over here. So far, how it looks like, we even could continuing like dumped all of that shit and then go sideways for like months, and that's gonna be all fine. Like I'm not gonna argue with it. And you follow the trend and you trade with it. You don't go against it. Like we had that small relief bounce somewhere over here. That could be the case, but then you're still aiming to go lower, potentially on a high time frame. Why? Because there is as well like long and short. I didn't even look at it like for ages because I don't bother with it that much. It's still at 64 70, yeah, right? Yeah, it's still there. And we had only one touch. And from that one momentum that we touch each other, right over here, that's the high. So we need to create another high for it to get back. At least we need to get back at 76 to get this into the neutral line. Touch each other again. Or that sounds weird. I know. Let's say fucking kiss each other. That sounds a little bit more better, I guess. But then, right? They need to come together into the neutral line. I'm not seeing it right now on Bitcoin to do that. Right? We could potentially be in this whole area, but we're gonna do this whole freaking all way up and then one more, and then we're gonna dump from it. Yeah. Yeah, both sounds pretty funny. Yeah, I know. I couldn't came up with things for it. Anyhow, you know what I mean, right? Merge, yeah, merge together. Yeah, it could be as well. Like fuck it, I went that way already. So, but yeah, that we could do that. But then eventually we are like 2 months further, right? Same thing what we did over here. So let's see. But so far it doesn't look like we want to. Ducking, yeah, yeah, could be. But let me just put this all back, get it how it was. So yeah, it's still aiming to go lower. And like I've been mentioning, I don't mind if that's gonna go straight lower, even into the bear market and sideways or whatsoever. I don't care. And I don't even aim for the relief bounce for Bitcoin at that moment. I'm focusing a bit more on the alts just because they show the strength better than the stablecoins, right? And makes sense just because alts are still quite heavily on the top, right? We are still 80% into it. We could bounce a little bit lower into the neutral line or below that. Still fine. But potentially what we are doing is showing strength, right? This as well, like for example, hype, right? It shows the strength. We went quite super high. We are still holding on it, slowly breaking into the lows, but we don't dump on it. Potentially, like this could be as well the case. We're gonna buy from it right now if we're not gonna hold this freaking last low that we create, because I'm not sure if I need to consider it as a break of structure. Technically, I should, and I will put my orders into it, just because this was the high that we broke out from it. We didn't reach out from this. I tend to do that. And I kind of aim we're going to do one more or something grinding and then do that explosive move again. Why? Use something similar that we did over here, right? That was the failure of the low, regain small, and then retrace and do that ballistic move. So yeah, something like that even could be the case. On top of that, hype doesn't stack that much liquidity to the downside, so there is a bit more and heavier stuff to the upside. Still really good potential bounce from 28 again, or a little bit more into the 28.5-ish area. So that's going to be my kind of stack. And then, of course, I'm going to keep my stop loss below the, what you call it, below the wick. Right? Like always I do. Used to keep it as tight as possible. We still didn't reach the end of this one. So potentially there is some more movement into it. Right? So yeah. And moving on the star of this whole show is Injective. That one caught me off guard because I didn't expect it's gonna do that kind of big ass move. But hey, I took it and quite nicely to the tier. I've been quite vocal about it last week. So if you guys didn't took it, then I mean, I'm sorry. It's gonna be a next one, but it is what it is. Need to be quite quick with them. That was really nice and tight one. Really, really great RR on that one. One of the best ones so far. We did the ballistic move to the upside, and that close of this whole 4-hour candle, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm taking it. Any retrace, I'd add a little bit more manually on it, but I didn't pull the new trade on it because I was in the meeting on that momentum, so I couldn't do that at the same time. But anyhow, I pull it up like freaking 30. I did 32% or something. I sold it most of my back, some over here. I don't remember exactly. I've been waiting for a quite decent 5-minute structure break, but it didn't came up like I wanted it. So I didn't pull up on this one. I could potentially, but I didn't bother. And then I was like, yeah, maybe we're gonna have one more. I was waiting to get a little bit more above this hip, and it looks like we been carry on and dumping from it. It's still fine. I did like I don't mind if I didn't took the short on it. Didn't bother that much with it. I'm gonna wait for the bigger stuff that's coming lower. But just because let's see how we're gonna be dealing with 3.4. That's a hip that you technically want to hold for any really big moves, but that's gonna be a really shitty place to long so far, just because there's much more stuff as well below, a little bit more heavy stuff, and we have some fair value gaps to fill. We could potentially, that's going to be a really good move from Injective if we're going to go back at 3.24, right? That high over here. I want that as potentially my beginning of my entry orders, and then I'm going to fill it up till the 3.11. Yeah, sorry, 3.119, let's say, to be much more accurate. This is going to be my entries, right? Split. So yeah, let's see how we're going to be dealing with that. Potentially, we still could go a little bit lower, and that would be really nice. And then, yeah, we still have some big stuff below us. Let's hope we're not going to get there. And then, eventually, we aiming to fill all of this. Why? Because we already been killing this whole structure. Oh, I need to delete that. Let me just that. Delete that. That's already not even valid. We took all of that liquidity. That's fine. But then what did we do? Like big stuff. Even daily wise, this is the big stuff, right? You regain the hip that you came from. You settled a low, and this is your support. So right now, coming back and aiming to get higher at this hip over here, and that's the low time frame one. That's why I'm not really seeing that as a big resistance, because we already dipped into that one for the first time. The second time should send us a little bit more higher up. So now the first TP that's gonna be from that trade, or sorry, the second one after regaining that high, it's at 4.2, and I'm aiming to get back at 4.48. Right, that stuff. That's the high time frame stuff, the daily ones. The second daily one that you already regained. So that's the most important one. And yeah, getting there, gonna bring you through all of the liquidity. Done. Perfect. Then filling up the fair value gap with the wick, and then do another one, or maybe sideways stuff, right? But let's see how we're gonna be dealing with this first. But so far, this trade been freaking amazing. Friend of mine woke me up and he said, like, dude, what the fuck happens? So yeah, great stuff. Good trade. There was really one of the perfect ones to catch, right? You had a second chance over here, but you needed to be quick. So far, this has been blasting through. And let's see if we're going to get another one. I would like to. That's why I said I'll start to show some really good strength. And this is massive for else, right, to do that, because we've been going down quite heavily, right, to the downside. Every failure we took, it's been like major. And this is one, okay, like, yes, we had a really good move over here, but we didn't do shit. Like, we didn't regain the major stuff where we came from, right? We did the regain of the lows of the low time frame with that low, but over here we set out a higher low and we regained the previous second high that we came from. So that's starting to look up like a major move. Now we need to confirm it. Setting a support, and that's technically we did confirm it, but I need to confirm on the support and on the higher lows. So there you have it. Overlapping support, bands, and even the whole liquidity support and the 4-hour swings in one place. Like, if that's not going to be the trade, then I don't know anymore. So yeah, this is one of the greatest ones. Now, getting back at AVAX, we had a really good move, right? We broke the 4-hour structure, and yeah, as well technically it's a candle. It's not really a structure. This is the structure on the daily, but we did settle a higher close. That's good, with a really good support on it, even double support right now. I'm not really pushing it right now to get on this hip and on this support. I'm kind of aiming we're going to dip a little bit more lower just to grab a little bit more liquidity. I guess AVAX need that, right, to go back at this, and still fine for me to re-enter this position because we didn't test fully the low of that one on AVAX. Potentially, yes, we could go a little more deeper just because AVAX didn't have that run up as injective, and injective had a little bit more fundamentals to it to settle down. But still, we need to settle some support on it. So I really want to keep it or here or even lower at let's say 8.65-ish area in the middle of this support over here. So yeah, it could go. And if you're gonna dip lower, then AVAX is one and the only one that still could go lower, break the structure and settle down on this one. Because technically we could do something like this, right? So if you have the high, high, right, and you're gonna dip something like that, that's still a potentially uptrend, right? In the whole scheme. Yes, now render. One that pissed me off that didn't get back at my entries and it regained the previous failure quite heavily. Still failure on the major high time frame, right? So be aware of that. Still failure, right? We didn't regain that on the daily, and we are at the resistance. So this is a thing that render attempts to do. So it's gonna do this freaking whole homo-ish area, and then start to get back at the support, do another one, or maybe wipe the lows ones, right? So this is still potentially could go back at the lows. I prefer that because there is quite a lot of liquidity stacked as well on it, but it didn't farm quite a lot of liquidity to the upside, and that's not really worry. But if that happens, there could be a potentially as well for a longer part of time to going sideways, right? They need that freaking FOMOing in something or whatsoever, or getting people on board, or no matter what. But still, right? Yeah, that was the break of structure, but this is as well a break of structure, but it didn't regain the major high. So this is really iffy structure for beginners, right? If this is the high, you have this sideways, you lost that, but you regained quite heavily this range, but not this, right? And that's been quite rejected as well, quite heavily. So yeah, it took you all the way to the support. But I'm not aiming for that support. I'm aiming for the bigger stuff that my orders still are there. So yeah, let's see how that's going to be playing out. And Solana as well, holding quite nicely, in my opinion. After the high that we settled over here, we came back. Really good trade. Well, unfortunately, most of them didn't have hype and injective took most of my orders. The rest, like the first couple only. So yeah, we potentially have a small support on the previous low that we settled, but we still could dip a little bit more lower for potential more grabbing stuff, and that's still fine for Solana, right? Because we didn't even come back quite fully to this whole support, technically overlapping one as well. There are two major ones, and I guess I can remember correctly. Yeah, there is as well band and order block quite heavily as well. So yeah, still potentially good, right? This been regaining the previous failure, but not the high. Sorry, it did regain the high. Sorry, yeah, it's a quite front run of it, so this is quite good. We could potentially see us settling down on this $80, right? So yeah, this is really nice uptrending. But now the next move, we need to regain the bigger stuff, going back at the resistance and settling that new higher high on it. If that's not going to be the case, then we're going to wipe the lows again and do it all over again. So yeah, I think that's all clear on the whole list I have been sending in the pro signals. I need to start using those pro signals because people been freaking giving me shit about that. But yeah, there they are. Quite front run it as well, so you have time to set the orders and yeah, keep an eye on them. It's not something that is should be done in a second. I'm always try to be quite early with those things, and you have over here the first glance what I'm gonna do for the next couple days of if not it's gonna be a week. Those are the kind of the board and areas that I'm aiming for, right? And this is a strategy that I'm following. If you really need, use the stupid fips, right, for your confluence, for the support or something. But you need to understand the structure first. You need to understand what's been broken, what's not, right? So yeah, for example, here the first major should be regain of that, right? Did we do that? So, perfect. Yeah, we're still holding on this and this. Still, this technically could go break and holding on the previous support. Still, this counts as a continuation to the upside till we're not gonna break this low or even this low, right? Sorry, this low. Right? I think that makes sense. I hope so. But yeah, let's see how we're gonna be dealing with stuff from the next week. Looks promising, in my opinion. I'll start to show some strength. If that's gonna be like only once for a dead cat bounce or something like a liquidity grab, yeah, that's fine as well. Like, but it shows the strength, and I'm going by that. So those are the things that I'm always looking at it. And for Bitcoin, like this is still continuation into the lows. See how we're gonna be settling. We still could get into the 60 area or even, and technically, I think Stu will look at it as well. Something like that. Oh, look at that here. Perfectly. Like this cannot even get better, right? You have the stupid fib. And I think it's just clear that those orders are into the stupid fibs, right? So already you have so much confluence into this bounce with all of this stuff as well switching on, and even I'm gonna switch on the where they are here, right? This is it. Daily low of the swing and all of the stuff below that. Here it is, right? Major support so far. Break that, down it is. Right? I think that makes sense. So let me have a look what you are guys talking in the chat. CRV. We have a bot on that one, right? Yeah, we have. I shouldn't do the TA on the CRV because I have the bot on it. So otherwise I'm gonna freaking go against my bot. But it's a rough one for manual trading or holding on it. It's a rough one. Why? Because it's not nothing that you're gonna hold on it. And this is on Binance, right? So be aware. You are literally on your last Okay, let's say swing level that you need to hold, but that swing level been quite heavily tested with this week, with the October 10, right? There's nothing below, literally nothing below. Okay, that's weekly. Now, Jesus, holy fuck, it's been downtrending for a while. Oh yeah, so by all means, still like quote unquote fine if you want some potentials. Why? Because we did lose the low here as well. It tend to go lower, and then you might see some bigger stuff to potentially that they're gonna hold the token, they're gonna push the token, and they're gonna skyrocket it for a bit, and then slowly grind it again, right? So it's a quite common use case in projects that are low in the money. Red the phone will kick in, starts in, and then people gonna long this, and they start to wipe them out slowly, 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 like they do, right? So most common use, like Trio is a really good example in that case. Anyhow, uh, yeah, so that's the low that you really need to hold, or any kind of case like not getting below that. If so, you're gonna get dip a little bit more lower. 4 hour-ish, if there is a perspective on it, then the structure-wise, it's the only that you matter. But you broke the previous low. You didn't settle a new high. You set a new low, and then you settle a high on it. So potentially this should be your bounce. If you're not gonna bounce here and you're gonna close the 4 hour below the structure, and potentially you're gonna be in more like 0.22 or ish area. There any liquidity? Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, that could be a bit rough if you're manual trading or holding. Like this is as well like one of the good spots to be buying it for sure. Right, everything till 0.18. Spot buying the shit out of it. Yeah, that's great. Right, that's what I will do. But manual trading to aim for those big explosion moves, like that's gonna be rough. Or you need to be a big boy and hold through. Okay, let's say not that. Hold it through 8.1. If you are not using only one leverage or two leverage or whatsoever, right? You sell 3x and you can hold it for whatever you want it, but to make a decent amount from it, then you need a bit more. But this is the stuff that you should think about it if you're gonna clean it up and then start to do something like this. Maybe it's not really a sign. Yeah, this leg. This is the case. Like if you want, if you're gonna be stubborn, then this is your trade right now. 1.8. Right? Even if you're gonna do a market order right now, what are you aiming for? At least 3.4 on site retest. That's been already tested, by the way, but no matter. But that reaction, you should get that already. So yeah, watch it. It's a whiffy, if you want. I really don't like to trade this manually. I have a bot on it just because of the numbers, but I seriously don't like to trade it manually because it runs the lows quite easily, and it just wick everyone out, and it just do the biggest stuff. Like they're gonna do that. They did it so many times. If you're gonna backtest the whole freaking 4 hour chart, like no matter where you're gonna be, they run it quite heavily. And like it's not crazy to do that with all of this liquidity below. Yeah. That's your V 50.5. What's the fib? Oh, I think you're talking about hype. Because I know you've been on that one as well. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Tell me about it with your golden golden diamond hands with you, right? Crying that we might I might close it earlier. Boy, so much to learn yet. So much to learn. By looking at shitties. Rap. What do you mean? So, okay, to be honest with you, every single token besides Bitcoin is a shitty for me. So you need to be specific on that one. But you could try it. I wish Sui and Solana along did that. I mean, there's still potentials for it. Yeah, even Solana, I have a bigger ones because it's full like stacked on support. It didn't been taken. So yeah, Solana I have really big potentials for it as well. Like anyway, from here to the next one, it's 18%. So yeah, it's a matter of time, I guess. And Sui, it's been a while. Look at that one. Yeah, same thing. Oh shit. Yeah, that's even a better one, to be honest with you, because we are really good holding on the lows, right? We did a high, we did a higher high, we hold perfectly. Yeah, 8%. That's a good trade as well. Next one, same thing as Solana. I have same structure as well. So yeah, it's a matter of time. But that one here, you potentially could, let's say you're gonna get back at the support again. Here, 25%. Easily, underside retest. TP, TP, done. It did the high, holds the lows. Like, even if it's gonna be something like this, like wicked to it, and go for it. Like, yeah, easily. Structure-wise, it's freaking holding it. Patience. Nice squeezing, holding, overlapping supports. Perfect. Upside's been retested. Retest, retest, retest. Only thing that will stop you for a couple moments is this. Done. You're building up for something. Laddering in, and that's it. Like that's as well, guys. The reason that I send the shit in the pro signals, right? If, like people not gonna watch it, then I'm fine with it. But it's up to you. Like those are technically the most simple orders that you can make use from it, right? Like not even charting it by yourself, but like I've been saying, like the way that I'm doing that shit is like, for example, okay, I'm gonna be ordering from here, right, on the side retest, oh sorry, in the wick of this, and I'm gonna stack that stop loss heavily, make it as tight as possible. Oh, same thing that Stu is doing, right? Stu will say to you as well, like this. What do you do over here, right? Hacking the shit out of it. Correct? Yeah, correct. Can you do it here? Make it like, yeah, you can. Technically, it should be as well because you did regain the high that you came from. Done. Right? You can grind it out like that and do one more. Here it is. Patience. I think currently it's defining a switch service some. Oh, bro, please. If I'm gonna hear any kind of token with fucking banking connections or like, oh, they're gonna use it for banking. Oh, bro, I'm getting already chills. Like, the, so you wanna say all those tokens gonna look like this? Fucking, I hope so. Like 7 years of freaking sideways. No, like, bro, I'm not buying that shit at all. First thing first, facts, right? I don't care what the plan is for the token. I don't care what they think or what they want to achieve. I want to see it working right now. If that's the case, I'm buying it. Fucking hell, like another token with banks connection. Like, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's gonna work. Shit years. Oh, shit years. Yeah, I do. I'm okay. I'm not that big as Stu or some people, right? But I do play around with them sometimes. I don't have time to know to watch them. But for example, like if you call the shit years, then here it is. One of the shit years is per, for example. I've been mentioning that for even back in the days when Hyperliquid started it, right? Every single low, 37%, 52, 80, right? Yeah, it dumps on you, but still, here as well. Like I've been saying, like that was the last time I bought with it, and I still have some spot backs on it, right? What did we do? 1x. Like, yeah, this is one of the shittiest that I play around with it. I will buy, and I think I bought it already, or my orders got filled over here, right? But yeah, that's the one that I'm kind of like dealing with. You took me on the freaking what's the name? Troll shenanigans as well. Yeah, I do sometimes, but it's not like major stuff or something. Like, yeah, like a couple grand, I throw it at it and do like half, like 1x or 0.5 of it. That's fine. Right? I'm not that big. I'm not crazy to invest everything into it. It's just for fun, shitting giggles. Yeah, I do. But that's all what I do. Like, I don't bother that much. Esther, for example, I laugh at it. Like, this is well become a shit year for me because this should be a hyperliquid killer, and so far it does the opposite. Like, yeah, I used to do fucking shit with what's the name? Was it grass or something like that? And there was another one. I don't remember those ones as well. But Doges as well, a shit year. Like this stuff. Like this doesn't have any potentials at all. Like buying this is hoping for someone is gonna tweet about it and it's gonna send it. I rather spend my money wiser and buying something that's gonna do the move that I expect it to do it, instead of hoping for something. That's only XRP, get you straight. It's the side of stables, not XRP. Transactions element. Still, like anything like that, like I need to see facts and need to see on paper that it works. And banks are using it. I want to be confirmed by a bank that they do use that stuff. Otherwise, it's only a freaking words into the wild and nothing else. And like I've been saying, like it's nothing against right CRV, right? I understand that, and we've been here, right? Like yes, every single low, same thing. You can consider this as well as shitty. Every single low that it breaks, like it potentially does the freaking big moves. But overall, this is downtrending. You can't argue with me that it's not, because it is. This is going still lower and lower till it's not going to be possible, I guess. I rather like look at this. Like it used to be great, but it turns out not so much anymore. But I rather invest into this, right? Like with one glance, you can already see the potential of it, than in something that does only this, right? But that's my opinion. And I don't care like if they have connection with the banks or whatsoever. Like if that starts to turn around as the biggest freaking wipe of the token ever, if they have any connection with the government or even if the banks coming involved into it. But hey, and truth, oh my freaking god, now you're getting in some shitties. Freaking hell. Oh shit, that's the wrong one. I was way too quick. Jesus, bro. Yeah, that's uptrending for sure. Is there? I don't think there is more history on it, right? Where's KuCoin? KuCoin used to have some really good shitties, but I don't think KuCoin already is freaking surviving, right? If there is not even listing on TradingView, or something happens to them, I don't care. They can fucking die off on me with the freaking couple grand of my money. Yeah, that's why I said, like, is that still alive? But they used to have like shitties. But anyhow, to be honest with you, this is still uptrending, right? So far, I can tell you from it. The only thing that, yeah, you should think about it is if you want to buy something, then the only reason is to buy it here. Why? Because you broke the structure already on 4 hour. That's been broken. So yeah, you broke your low, you're getting there. This is not gonna hold you at all. Like even this freaking hip on 1 hour, I shouldn't even considering that as a hold at all. So yeah, and are we doing exact the same thing over and over? Yeah, we technically do, right? So yeah, this is the buy. Getting low, getting below, for example, 0.016, right? Getting below that, I will not buy it. I would just wait to settle down because then you start to break this whole freaking shit. And there's not much to say. Like this is gonna be what, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks of chart. Nothing. This easily can do something like this, right? And then, yeah. Spot wise, if you really want, I will buy it. Leverage wise, I will not even touch it by a freaking. Yeah, but that's why I'm saying. If so, Crow. Yeah. Oh, sorry. You talking about Crow? Yeah, I'm stacking right now as well, Crow. Like heavily stacking. I've been quite vocal about that. Like this is all freaking TA that I did on Crow. Like not here. Where here? Fuck. I did something. Yes. I hate that. I hate trading view so much. Oh, where is it? Crow. Here. Here. That's my aim for the next round. I've been stacking all of this shit from where? December or November, somewhere over here. Yeah, on that low, I've been stacking that. But yeah, this is the whole traject of Pro. And eventually we gonna fill up this. And we're gonna do it all again over and over. They're not gonna change their own circulation. But yeah, this is it. Like we almost there. Like I'm kind of aiming for March, end of the March of April. From over here. This play out. So yeah. What was the another one? Oh, truth. Jesus, I didn't know that he has this freaking token. But this, okay, so if you talk about shitties, this is already enough, right? There are only 3 listings on it. That's already like quite enough. And the rest of it is like freaking into the like, what was that? Femex, the most shittiest one. Oh, yeah, KuCoin. We have it. It's still alive. Fucking hell. Rarely. Dang. Well, what the fuck is this? Jesus. Yeah, forget about that. I'm not like. So, listing, wrecked, 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 wrecked. This, if you guys, okay, so first thing first, 101, this is artificial holds. All of this stuff. This is manipulation 101. One of the most perfect, I guess, what I saw so far, manipulations. Also, it's been hold because they wanted it like that. So, yeah. Like, if you're gonna take this seriously, oh boy, I'm sorry. The only thing is, if you really want that kind of one piece of that movement, I will. I'm not gonna buy it. But if you really want it, buy it somewhere like in between this spot and that's it. Drop below, you cut it off quickly because this is one of the biggest bullshit ever. Why? Because you freaking don't respect anything. Right, I guess this is clear. So yeah, proof. Jesus Christ, that they even allow this shit. Lloyd, it was both. It was bought by Lloyd's Bank. Yeah, there you have Lloyd's Bank. Yeah, really good one already. Gracias, everyone. I used to stack for the card. I don't have the card anymore. I free up all of my stacks. I used to have. I don't have it anymore. I canceled the card like somewhere in last year because I don't like that they gonna send your data to the governments as well, and you need to report everything because that was the strength of Crow. He didn't do that, and now they started it. So there we have it. I'm not gonna deal with it, and I have much better cards than Crow right now. Crow is one of the shittiest ones. So yep, I have shitloads stacked, and I'm gonna sell them out like I'm heavy shit, and I'm stacking more. Crow is getting inspired back. Yeah, 0.006. Yeah, they can dip lower. It's still fine, like 0.5 ish or whatsoever. Like this is still fine. Like still, it's not gonna be below 0.052. This is still fine. Eventually, like it didn't break that, but wick into the lows. Yeah, this is it. Rap, by the way, wasn't you or was someone else who had questions about the liquidations indicator? Expect our next bull market very hard. Like what's very hard? Like the thing is, like I don't expect much. Maybe that's why I don't like sour or something about the market. So I don't expect much. The only thing that I'm aiming for always, and no matter what kind of chart it is always the mid. So it's the previous 2, 3 whatsoever highs, and the maximum that I'm expecting is always the underside of the all-time high. Everything after that, I don't care. I don't. Because if I'm gonna expect the token's gonna go to 350 and it's never gonna go, I'm gonna be sour for life. I don't care. And I don't care what the bull market's gonna do. Because we could still, next cycle, no matter what, for example, be here, right? In this. This could be the next cycle of the bull market. You did regain your previous high. You're still holding on the major swing. So yeah, this could be. And do another one. So that's going to be the divergent move, right? And then, yeah, do another cycle. No one says we need to do this because you need to understand as well, all of that been not only as history and it's like quite a long time ago, that money in the market and the movement of the market is not going to happen on all of the coins through the whole crypto. If you're not gonna have like a wipeout, and we're not gonna wipe off, let's say, okay, let's keep it nice and clean, 50% of the market, then the money what's gonna comes in is gonna be so thin that we're not gonna receive any kind of big moves. If that's not gonna be on meme coins or pumped up fun shit or whatsoever. On stable alts, top 100, I will not expect that. Not that much. But yeah, that's my opinion. I was wrong. It's not. Oh, the same direction of BTC. You could do that easily as well. You can use, for example, I mean, easily. Okay. Overall, it's easy to think to do it, but to make that, it's quite a way. So the only thing that I would suggest you to look for it is, for example, take your capital flow index, set it on manual, fill it up, start from top 100 and go to at least 200 tokens, right? And then fill them up. You can have multiples indicators. So you're going to have like maybe 4 or 5 indicators. Fill them up and see which token, for example, gonna do same as, for example, like something like this, right? So then you're gonna have Bitcoin. Like you need to add the Bitcoin into the chart, so into the indicator is your leading one. So for example, Bitcoin is here with the rest of the tokens as well, and it's gonna be one outlier somewhere over here. So you know that there is no correlation between those two. They're going opposite from each other. Right? That's the only thing how I can visualize it for you. But going through that, maybe easier way is going to be to ask ChatGPT. Right? Let's ask him, like, I don't know, through the top 200 coins, which coins it's not correlated to Bitcoin and goes against when Bitcoin is down and vice versa. And it might find you, maybe one. But to visualize it to you, it's, yeah, something like that, I guess. Gonna be a good way if you need it. Otherwise, it's gonna be yeah, long way to go through. And then you need to ask yourself if there is gonna be even possibility to put a bot on it, because not on every single alt or token you can. So the how we call it, the probability for it to be 100% workable starting to get less and less and less till how deeper you're gonna dive into it, right? But why do you want, like, I don't understand as well the idea, why do you need to have opposite correlation of the Bitcoin with the bot? The bots do take the trades anyway, if it's long or short. So you're gonna be shorting the shadow, you're still gonna make money. So I don't understand what's the point for it to do the opposite and the Bitcoin for botting. Like, for what? It's gonna go opposite. It will take the trade, of course, but then either way, shorting, it will take a trade. All the bots move the same way and losses, it sucks. Yeah, okay, but who says it's gonna be a winning trade for the one that's gonna do the opposite? Right now, for example, in our bot system, gold is a little bit the opposite of the Bitcoin and the rest of the market, right? Most of the times it goes opposite. I know it sucks to take losses, but it's not like, I don't know how many. Yeah, of course, I understand that. But it's still harder to define that, right? Because most of the times, like, hype, yes, most of the times it could go against the Bitcoin. Like lately, it did. But there are times that the whole market, it goes the same way. Like, either way, it's gonna be, for example, here, right? Like M7 is going against the market. So yeah, we're gonna have stocks from next week, right? So they are quite nice and popping left and right when crypto goes sideways, right? Or even lower. But it's hard to diverge like that. It's really hard. You can try it at least, like, yeah, if that's what you are aiming for. Like I've been saying, I think the quickest one and most easiest, ask ChatGPT. And that's yeah, plumbers as well. That's the thing as well, like to focus on the ones that does make you money no matter what happens, right? That's the whole idea, like uh, to have the library that we have and spread it like that. We diversify for quite big amount of tokens, like market caps as well. Like if you go to market caps, we have quite a lot of them. Now we have stocks, we have commodities, we have a lot of tokens that you can go through. watch them and see which one performs as the best, which one have the less losses or hit much less if the loss is going to be there, right? So that's the as well the aim for yeah, exactly. Stonk looks good, really good, and those are really for long term. But you can go a little bit more heavier on them. That's a really great idea to cover your losses with them eventually, right? So there is no point to have 20 bots running and you think you're gonna make shitloads of money because from those 20, at least maybe 15 gonna have two losses and you're gonna be running out of your funds, right? There is no point to that. Just choose the ones that you know, or you've been trading them whatsoever, and you know how they behave. Manage them, right? It's a long run. Let's be say like it's a marathon. You cannot skip things. You cannot go without losses. Like this is not possible. Even manual trading is not 100% accurate because I don't know someone who have 100% accuracy in manual trading. Like even the bot's not gonna do that. There are things that we cannot deal with, or like we cannot deal with. It's they are not something to fix just because a bot had one stop loss. We cannot do 100% accuracy on that. It's not possible. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's just that you need to take some losses. That's why we said managing of your account and the whole bot. It's the bigger um, point of view, but as well how you should deal with them and work with them. It's not only switching on, forgot about them, and see you in a couple of years. Well, I mean, there was a couple guys who did that, and eventually they did 50% of the whole funds. So yeah, you can, right? If you do that. But then you shouldn't look at them. If you start to look at the bots, what every single trade's gonna be, then you're gonna eat yourself up. I understand that, but that's not the whole idea. You run it for a week, check how it goes. What can you make it better? Run it for a month, check what went wrong, right? Keep a track of it and check. And by that I mean like, okay, how many stop losses did it hit? 3 in a row. After that, for example, 5 good trades. What was the average profit of it? Good. Can I keep it up with it? Yeah. Keep it running it. So what? It took a loss. Right? Like we beating ourselves because people are complaining that the bot got a loss. Like I don't know what to find or what to give to the community that they stop looking at it and understand that they're like hit because they are losing funds. But then there are two things happening: or you are over leverage, or you are over margining or way too big margin into it. So you're losing too much. There is the problem. And we've been quite transparent with all of the metrics. Right? They are there. The drawdown, they are there as well. If people don't look at the drawdown, then I'm sorry, and I don't know what to tell you. Right? They're always going to be a losing trade, no matter what. But yeah. mm, I think that's quite clear, right? Stocks, yeah. Which one is that? That's one of your what you had running, or you found a new one? Stocks look really good. Good. Ooh. Hood. Yeah, bro. Really nice. Google MD. Really nice. So yeah, coming. All coming. I mean, hood. Yeah. And how about the other ones that you had? Did you look at that one? You had the CoinGlass, I guess, and no CoinGlass for fuck what I'm saying. What's the name? Coinbase. Fucking hell. And there was one more, right? You had it. Yeah, yeah, MicroStrategy. Yeah. Nice. But yeah, I think that's all clear, guys. Right? I need to run some simulations on bots and update some things. Yeah, still Like, yeah, I don't know what to say about it. Still could ratio lower into the lows, and alts might have some nice run-ups. I will update them later on, or maybe from tomorrow somewhere if I'm gonna find the time to update the tickers. But here you can see as well what I mean and what I'm aiming for. So yeah, if you want, take a trade. If not, then yeah, it's up to you. But then don't, like some of it, don't cry that you missed out on it, or yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You'll take a swing. If you don't risk it, then you don't drink champagne, right? Or something like that. I don't know what's the phrase. It is what it is. It was a really good one. Love it. Love it when things played out. And I'm gonna take another swing at all of them. I hope Rendett's gonna fire up. I really, really hope for that one. Because that's been my favorite. I lost faith in it and then it comes back. For the biscuit. Yeah, risking for the biscuit, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, if there are no questions anymore, peeps, then I'm gonna bounce and gonna put some work on things and enjoy my weekend or end of the week. Busy week. Yeah. Love you all. Have a good one. I will see you Wednesday. And be aware. Next week could be volatile end of the month. So yeah, potentially some nice movements coming in. Either way. Have a good one. Love you all. Bye bye.